Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of the New Japan Pro Wrestling series using TEW 2020, as we are almost at the end of 2021. As instead of the Destruction Tour, it is instead the Wrestle Grand Slam Tour. I wanted to change it up a little bit, which I'm thinking about it now, and it's just like probably a dumb idea to have the Wrestle Grand Slam Tour to be in November. But here we are. It is what it is, as far as that goes. For this show, Wrestle Grand Slam, we got the two shows as far as one's going to be in the Tokyo Dome, the other one's going to be in the National Stadium, which might be a mistake. That's another thing that I was just kind of thinking like, we should probably run somewhere else, but just felt like that'd be a great kind of 1-2 punch before Wrestle Kingdom. So I just felt like that was a great idea, which is probably not a great idea since it's only a couple of months away. Really just a month and basically almost a whole entire month in a week's time away from actual Wrestle Kingdom. So would kind of be a waste to run Wrestle Grand Slam in the Tokyo Dome, but here we are anyways. At least that one would make sense because they actually play baseball there. We're getting a little too meta with this. Let's just get going with the card and seeing where we're at for this first card here. As I will say this, at the Road to Day 2 show of this Wrestle Grand Slam Tour, we will now be at 300 shows in the save. What the fuck? That is crazy. I felt like I needed to be a part of the tour goals page. I really didn't have anything else because it's pretty short, this tour. It's only 6 days, I want to say. It's 4 Road 2 days and then the 2 main shows, so it's pretty short. But for this main card here, obviously we'll go from the bottom to the top. It's Chaos versus Liberty United in an 8-man tag. It's going to be Sho, Yo, Yano, and Goto against Shelly, Gashi D'Amato, Alexander Hammerstone, and Toa Henare. That should be fun. Then Power E versus Satoshi Kojima. Of course, we saw the Heiau Tamura Tenkoji team get the win, getting the new Never Open 6-man titles as far as that goes, that new reign. And I felt like that would be a fun little singles match for Power E and also for Kojima. Then the 6-man of House of Torture, which is Jay White, Masashi Takeda, and Toru Sugiura, take on the United Empire team of Zack Sabre Jr., Katsuya Kitamura, and then the Great Okan. As for now, we get to the graphics part. Junior heavyweight tag team title matchup as the House of Torture team of Drew Parker and Taiji Shibori take on the tag champs of Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix. That should be a barn burner there. Of course, they just had their tag league match, so they are pretty familiar with each other, and that should be pretty exciting. As we got basically 2 more main shows left after that one. This Wrestle Grand Slam show. They'll be at Wrestle Kingdom, so it is very, very crazy to think we're that close to it. Is then the next matchup, New Japan Strong open weight title matchup. I for about half of these, I don't know why I was just thinking just putting challenger instead of the actual challenger in Japanese, but that's okay. So you'll just kind of see that throughout the next couple of graphics. As Eddie Kingston is going to take on Miro. That's going to be a lot of fun, though. They've had a match in the past, and it did pretty well. That was on Strong, so we'll see how they do here at the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Grand Slam. Then the oh no, that's actually not the next matchup I'm about. Almost. So we gotta get rid of this. And the next matchup is a tag team matchup of Shotaro Shino, Pac, House of Torture, of Task Force Death, taking on Los Ingobernables de Apollo of Tetsuya Naito and Bushi. Then the co-main event for the rights to go on to Wrestle Kingdom for the briefcase, Joe Doring taking on Shingo Takagi. As of course, this is happening because during the G1, Joe Doring beat Shingo during the block matchups, and obviously Shingo getting that winning it all. Obviously now Joe Doring gets that, what will be the final shot, I believe, as far as the briefcase holder. I could be wrong, but I want to say the next show does not have a briefcase holder, rights to face the IWGP Heavyweight Champion at Wrestle Kingdom matchup. So this is kind of make a breaker point for Shingo Takagi here, as far as that goes. As far as if he could beat Joe Doring here, he solidifies his spot. But for the tag team champion, Joe Doring, he might have a chance to not wrestle not once but twice on Wrestle Kingdom. And in our main event for the Intercontinental Championship, Kota Ibushi is going to take on Hiromu Takahashi. Another one that is happening because Ibushi beating Hiromu during the G1. This should be very, very fun. You know, they've had great matches in the past, and this should be an absolute banger. I'm very, very excited to see how this one plays out, and that's going to be the first card. We'll go through the second card once we actually get to that card after we run this one, so we'll just kind of wait for that. As let's get this first Road 2 show underway. I have no idea what I'm going to book. We'll just kind of play it by ear, mainly. I know I don't want to run Kanto, just to kind of try to get as much people as we can for that show. Just kind of curious. So we can run Osaka, which was probably should have... I don't know, though, now I'm thinking about it, because we're really only Osaka Joe Hall. If we could have ran somewhere a little bigger in Osaka, that would have been great. That's okay. As far as, yeah, we can run Toku, too. Get a Gate Arena, that works. So for... Oh, well, yeah, I completely skipped over the backstage incidents. My bad. Let's go back to this. It's Tomohiro Ishii. As he's going to put over Ryu Lee. It's pretty... For 3 matches. Wow. As expired in 4 months. It's pretty cool. Way to go, Tomohiro Ishii. I'm sure they'll have it on strong, to be honest. In some way. I'm not really sure exactly how we're going to play into that. But, yeah, for this show, as I do want to bring up, as far as... we're in an interesting spot for these, first 2 shows. Because I think a great main event would be something with Kota Ibushi teaming up with one of the, either both the Bucks. That could be a thing. It's a little interesting because really as far as LIJ goes, with there only being 5 of them, it's a bit interesting because we'll have to somehow... As far as who... I guess it would be Sonata. I guess that's going to probably make the most sense. If we can just do... We'll just do one. Let's do Hiromu and Sonata. And, then for Kota Ibushi... Well, we could even have him team up with someone that's just, like, not affiliate with... Just, like, a Lion Mark member of the roster. Every time I'm just when I go-to guy's Taguchi, because Tanahashi would be great, but he's he's still hurt. He comes back during this tour, so we can't do that. We could also do maybe him and Power E, and then, no, that ain't gonna work. That doesn't make any sense. What we got here? So I went through Tamora in there. That'd be cool. Yeah, let's throw Tamora in there. Fuck it. As well have Sonata beat Tamora. Cool. Cool. As for the next matchup, which this should probably... That might be the co-main what we just put together, because this should probably be the main. We'll have Shingo with Naito and Bushi, because this makes way more sense to do. Against Pac, Satoru Shino, and Joe Doring. As for the matchup, I think we're going to go with the Task Force Death team getting the win. I think we're going to have Doring beat Bushi. I just feel like that's for the best. Kind of protects everybody involved in that matchup as best we can. Nice. So that's a great main and co-main, I think. As for the next matches that we can do, I would like for Miro and Kingston to have a tag against each other. That could be fun. Obviously, Homicide's kind of the go-to there. And then for Miro, he could kind of do whatever as far as team off with anybody from House of Torture. We're going to go with Brody, though. say, have we done this? We did the 8-man of this, but we haven't done really anything else besides that, so that's great. We'll make it 16, and we'll have Miro beat Homicide. That's a pretty solid, like, mid-card match. Because Miro's going to do pretty well. King's going to do pretty well, too. Just kind of Brody and Homicide aren't really over enough. So, let's see what we got. As far as... you know, I was thinking maybe something... that's probably about it as far as what I want to do as far as building with this Wrestle Grand Slam show. So now we can kind of think of people who are not on that final show. Get them on the card. So something like Great Bash Heel. Works for me. Dragon Masters. Perfect. Maybe we could do Taguchi instead of Master Wato, so this match could be even better. Well, I guess we'll have this one seal the show, as we'll have Fujinami beat Hanma. Nice. Cool. So, the bottom two Tekken Young Lion matches. As far as the first one, let's get Tins on. And, yeah, we can go with Vegeta, I guess. Doesn't really matter since we have so many Young Lions at our disposal as of right now. And for our Technical Masterclass, well, Tenzan can't even work 10-minute matches anymore. Not even 8-minute matches. Boy, that's not good for Roshi Tenzan. I mean, it makes sense. It honestly makes sense. As for this kind of next match here, let's see. You know, it's thinking maybe a tag. Go with Show and Yo, Roppongi 3K against the Yuto in Yasutaku Yano, Young Lion Tandem. I'm sure we've done this before. Yeah, wow, never have. Perfect. So it really doesn't matter which one wins. I'm going to give it to Show, though, since he needs that a little bit more. There we go. That's all we had. That's all out. That could have been bad. Could have been bad. It's not going to be the best of matches, but I think it should still be pretty good, as we got to change something, it looks like. Robert King. Being used too much. Huh. Does he have up Daichi Murahama? There we go. Perfect. So that's our 6. We'll run the show. So 48 for Show and Yo of Roppongi 3K against Yuto Nakashima and Yasutaka Yano. As a Show with the Power Breaker, 53-51s, 33-25. As Yuto Nakashima was off his game, so was Yo. He still outperformed Show. Yeah, 29 there. Tenzan was flying it, but 620. Not great. 56, though, for this tag match of Great Bash Heel against Taguchi and Leona Fujinami. As Fujinami with a double underhook suplex on Tomo Akiyama, 12-31. It's not bad there. It's Makabe, best guy in the match. Hanma, the worst guy in the match. Makes sense why I took the loss. 61 here for Strong Style Riders in House of Torture. It's Miro with the Game of Torture in 1608. The double team there of Brody and Miro. So yeah, Miro doing a great job. Looking great, as far as, especially with the excellent chemistry boost with him and Brody. Yeah, I mean, definitely the right team wins there. 77, though, for the co-main. It's Tamura. I mean, he was awesome. But, for a young lion especially, but obviously way out of his league as far as in this matchup. Sonata pitting him with a rounding body press in 1950, though. It's a pretty fun match. Sonata's doing pretty well, too. 75, we'll take that. It's an 80 main event, though, for this 6-man, as Joe Doing pins Bushi, the Revolution Bomb, as it's 82 for Pac, 76 for Shotaro Ashino, 75 for Naito, 73 for Shingo, the 71 for Joe Doring, and then Bushi with a 61. Way to go, Pac. As yeah, pretty good show. Pretty good show. On to the next one. And then we'll be right there for the fucking Wrestle Grand Slam show in the Tokyo Dome. It is nice to have a nice change of pace, having a slow, as far as a smaller schedule, but unfortunately, it took a while for this episode to get out there, so we had some maintenance people at the house. They came here at 9 o'clock, they didn't leave till 3. It was a long day, a long, expensive day. It cost $760. Oh my gosh, so much money. As far as, okay, we got contract negotiations, pay raise for those guys. So, because I'm pretty sure it is tonight, so we have to go through this rather quickly. Well, usually we don't even do the full raise, but felt like it there with Myron. It's Kojima's contract's coming up. Hell yeah. Gotta change that. So we're gonna do a per show deal. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, Major TV. Missed that part. Oh. There we go. I'm sure that was going to try to steal them. So yeah, let's get this show now underway. Backstage incident. Yuji Nagata passes on psychology tips to the Great Okan. Hell yeah. And so, obviously not being Kanto. I keep on wanting to run that Hiroshima Sun Plaza, but I'd rather probably keep it in Osaka if we're just gonna be honest here. Yeah, the Wakayama Prefectural Gym, because really that's probably the best bet. And for this show, as far as the main event, I was honestly thinking of having either a House of Torture United Empire main event or a Chaos Liberty United main event, which is going to be a little tough with, I think Jeff Cobb is still on suspension leave. Yeah, so we can't use him and we can't use Juice, so Liberty United's kind of in shambles. So we probably can't do that. Could maybe do, as far as something a little different, as far as Toa Inare and Alex Shelley. So kind of the best two guys we have left of Liberty United against a Chaos team of, let's say, Toru Yano. And we'll go with Rocky, I guess, even though he's not in that match. This is like a solid, like, co-main or, like, kind of upper mid-card match. But everyone could really use the win but Alex Shelley. So we're going to have Toa Inare beat Rocky. I think that's kind of for the best there. Yeah. I mean, this has got to be a first time meeting, yeah. I was about to say. It's got to be. For the main, I still think a House of Torture United Empire match that could probably be the main as far as having Jay White involved. Trying to think as far as who we can use. Thinking maybe a junior guy, perhaps. Or even, we could do Toru Sugiura. Or even, Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the best bet. Go with either Toru Sugiura or go with Masashi Takeda. I can go with Takeda. And for Zach, so it's crazy because there's way better junior guys, but definitely we're going to kind of keep with the heavyweight dudes. Kitamura's doing pretty well for himself. He's just, still not really there, but he's at least feel like he's progressing a little bit, that what I've seen as far as skills-wise. The technical skills are pretty up there. But we're going to have Takeda beat Katsuya Kitamura, which I love that, because here's two guys who have done MMA stuff. Obviously, Takeda a little bit better as far as in his MMA adventures, but I do like that. Very much Inokiism. Yeah, it's not going to be that great of a main compared to what we just had, but I think it's still going to be a pretty good affair. And then I would love for Kojima and Tamura against Shelton, Power E. $16. And we're going to have Kojima beat Shelton Benjamin. Poor Shelton, but I feel like that's for the best in this scenario. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have Tamura take another fall here. So we'll have Shelton. There we go. Then, yeah, we could kind of just now kind of fill in with guys who are not going to be on that card. Yeah, I was thinking, maybe going something different with another House of Torture, Empire match. Going, maybe as far as trying to think, maybe the lower end of a maybe United Empire guy, Gavin McGavin, and then with Great O'Khan. Oof. As, then they'll take on the team. I was thinking Sugiura. Thinking Suji, and then either Drew Parker, which would probably be Drew Parker, because it's not going to be Ishimura, because that'd make this match even more lopsided. 14 minutes, and we'll have Drew Parker beat Gavin McGavin there. Not a great night for the Empire, I know that much. Not great. Not great at all. And maybe another Chaos match. Either Chaos, Liberty United match if we can. It's Kaiju D'Amato and Hammerstone. And then for the Chaos team, let's go Goto. And we'll go with Francesco. Just now I get to book him, and now to talk about how New Japan's going to bring him in. He's going to be a part of the United Empire. It looks like he's going to be the guy. Which, it's him teaming with Ospreay. Obviously, if Ospreay's not a piece of shit, I'm excited for that. But, he's a piece of shit, so it nullifies anything anyways. But it's, hey, I did it first, though. At least I got that over them. So we'll have Kaiju D'Amato actually beat Akira Francesco. It's just so funny with him. Here we sign him, he's the Ospreay replacement, he gets a bit of a push, and then the next year it's like, we've done all we can with you. You could find your place somewhere else. We should probably actually have that be... Yeah, we'll have this one be the Steel Show match, I guess. It's not great, but something's got to do it. Then for the Technical Masterclass matchup, we'll go singles. I still gotta get rid of the rest of the Wasteland. But I'm thinking maybe doing the Velocities. And then this Mexa Blood team of Horse and Flamita. Oh, that's right. It's a singles matchup. I'm an idiot. So let's go back. Let's go with Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin. Now that they're not Young Lions anymore, to have like a... maybe not that. Maybe have them take on... Yeah, like a Yoshida. There we go. Clark Connors, Yano Yoshida. Perfect. 16 minutes. Clark Connors getting the win because I feel like he's going to outperform him. We'll see. We'll see if he does. Alrighty. Let's run the show. Yeah, they did. As far as Yoshida was a little bit better. That's a fun match, though, for Clark Connors, so we need to get him some finishers. So he gets the win, though, in 15:36. 57 for Akira Francesco and Hiroki Goto against Alexander Hammerstone and Kaiju D'Amato. As Francesco was off his game, which at least leads to Kaiju D'Amato getting the win, make that much more sense. That's nice, but it's pretty close. As far as that goes, really could have went either way, but probably the Chaos team probably should have won there. It's a 54 for Drew Parker. Towards Sujor against Gavin McGavin and the Great O'Con. As Drew Parker pitting Gavin McGavin with the fly quit stop. As they got 56-52 for the House of Torture team. 47 for Gavin McGavin. Way to go. We just need to get him some more wins. And the Great O'Con with 39 who was off his game. So 63 for the Foundation of Power E and Shelton Benjamin against Satoshi Kojima and Ayano Tamura. Shelton Benjamin with the painter in 15-41. Is Power E with a 60-56 for Shelton Benjamin. All around good stuff there for that team. So another 63 as the Chaos team of Rocky Romero Toriano taking out Torinari and Alex Shelley as Hanari with the spinning spine buster in 18-24. Very, very close besides, Alex Shelley being the guy, as far as getting a 64. The right team wins there. 68 for our main event. Not great, but Masashi Takeda with the ankle lock over Katsuya Kitamura in 2013. Jay White and Zach were very, very close, so 75-74, so that's really cool. Yeah, just House of Torture just being a little bit better than the United Empire team. We'll take it. It's not going to set the world on fire, but at least nobody got hurt going into the Wrestle Grand Slam show in the Tokyo Dome. As we'll see how that one plays out, which I'm very, very excited to see how that card goes, because I just think it's going to be a really, really fun card. Even though it might not look good as far as bottom half, but really that top half, Hiromu and Kota Ibushi is going to be really good. Joe Doering and Shingo should be pretty fine, and the same thing with the Shotaro Shino Pac Naito Ibushi match. That might do better than that co-main. So we'll see, as I believe it is this next day here, so we'll keep it rolling. As this is just a long-ass loading screen, though. There we go. So let's see who's... so we got two new people coming along here. Bronson Snyder and Hook finally was just like, let's sign them. Because they've been waiting on the mod for a while now. No one signed them, and I was just like, I'll do it. So, we're going to bring them along. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet with them as far as if I thought about sending them on excursion before they even are like a young lion, if that makes sense, to kind of help them out a little bit, but really the idea is to them be on strong, is the idea there. Kind of like the next crop of the LA Dojo Young Lions. But there, maybe we give that Alex around 75% there. So yeah, it is tomorrow. So yeah, we'll catch you guys tomorrow then for the Wrestle Grand Slam of the Tokyo Dome. Alrighty. They got us in the Tokyo Dome. Perfect. Perfect. Cablevision. New Japan World. TV Side 2. It's got some backstage incidents. A lot. Spare Stage Silva's the first ones. Right in the mood backstage of doing several funny cartoon drawings. Tanahashi and Dominic Garrini. Garrini was part 4 wrestlers court accused of being absorbed by his phone when he should have been paying attention to a locker room meeting as the judge. Roshi Tanahashi found him guilty and sentenced by a crate of beer for the locker room. As Kojima and Hayato Tamura. He's passing on microphone work to Hayato Tamura, and then Milano Collection AT passing on psychology to Yazutaka Yano. Perfect. As for the show, oh yeah, we got the Tokyo Dome. We got it. The national stage is going to be a bit of a... might be a bit of an issue. We might run that elsewhere. Not exactly sure where. But, we'll think of something, maybe. That's cool, though. At least we got the Tokyo Dome. No problem. It's Kota Ibushi, Hiromu Takahashi. As Hiromu beats Kota Ibushi thanks to the interference of Kenny Omega. Kenny has turned his back on his gold lover, and that will set up for a little kicking out of the Golden Elite with Ibushi getting kicked out, and also Omega saying that he's got one final thing left in New Japan. That's facing Kota Ibushi at the Wrestle Kingdom show. Tokyo Dome is where these two end their days as Golden Lovers. It's his final thing, and he's got the AEW title. He literally won it the night before as far as in the mod. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see a freshly won AEW World Champion Kenny Omega show it up and turn his back on Kota Ibushi. We've been teasing this for a long time now. We finally are doing it. I just think it's going to be great. I think it's going to go over really, really well. Hopefully there. So, I don't know why. That was weird. Oh, there we go. It's like, that was weird. There we go. But we got it. I think it's because I hit modified instead of add to the show. That's okay. We got that figured out. As for Joe Doring and Shingo Takagi. Shingo will be beating Joe Doring there, so he has punched his ticket to Wrestle Kingdom, and there's going to be a post-show press conference with him. As far as just warning, whoever wins between Kenta and Brody Lee, as that's Kenta's last heavyweight title matchup, which is a big-time match, as far as Brody, Kenta. They went the distance, 30 minutes at the G1. Of course, Brody being the Never Openweight champion, he would love to go into Wrestle Kingdom as double champion. But we shall see how that one goes, as far as that goes. But, yeah, and then we'll have the Tetsuya Naito Pac, Shotaro Ashino matchup with... We're going to have this one set for Steal the Show, and Bushi is going to be Pac, which is going to lead to a junior heavyweight title matchup between Bushi and Pac at the next Wrestle Grand Slam show. That should be fun. As then for the Eddie Kingston Miro matchup, it's a bit overbooked, but the big thing here is after... So this is going to take place after the junior title tag matchup. Drew Parker and Taiji Shimori, House of Torture, taking on the champs. And, they're going to come in and interfere. But then, after, Drew Parker and Taiji Shimori are going to attack Kingston, out come the Lucha Brothers. But then out comes Jay White to kind of, try to give, the number of... to House of Torture as far as being the odds-on favorite with all those people being involved. But then, Shotaro Ashino comes out to even the odds with Eddie Kingston beating Miro afterwards. Miro is fucking pissed. We'll keep him strong. He's still pissed. After they go their separate ways as far as House of Torture and Task Force Death, but then having the rest of Task Force Death comes out, but then also Eddie Kingston, joined by Homicide and Shota Umino. Shotaro Ashino welcomes the Strong Style Riders, the formerly Death Riders, as far as that stable when, Moxley was still here. So the Death Riders have now become the Task Force Death Riders, as they're going to be joining the Task Force Death team. So now, Shotaro Ashino, Eddie Kingston, Homicide, no longer the Death Riders, now joining Task Force Death. That stable's getting bigger and bigger now. Love it. A lot of angles on this show. Then the House of Torture, Lucha Brothers Junior Tag Title matchup. The Junior Champs retain. As, this is since, they lost to them back in October. It just felt like it made sense there. So Lucha Brothers getting the win. Then we got this House of Torture United Empire 6-man. It's Masashi Takeda beating Katsuya Kitamura. We might have Okan take the loss. But I think that should be a fun matchup nonetheless. Then Power E and Satoshi Kojima. Power E's going to get the win. This is kind of building up towards not a rematch. I mean, we can do the rematch for the Overweight 6-man titles. We probably will, actually, in the next show. But on the next major show, as far as that goes, really the big thing is to have Power E build up to become the new challenger for Brody in the Never Openweight title division, as far as at Wrestle Kingdom. So that's kind of what we're building towards there. But that's, just kind of, that'd be a fun match, though, Kojima and Power E. Obviously, if it's Kojima's prime, this is, near the main event. But this 8-man, the Technical Masterclass 8-man, Hanare is going to be Goto. We're trying, to save Toa Hanare there. His momentum's in the shit, but we're trying. And Goto's kind of failing a little bit. He's kind of taping off a little bit. He had a great run with the Cag Pitbulls, but now it's kind of time to have him start having some guys beat him and whatnot. As for the pre-show stuff, as far as what we can do, I think a tag. Yeah, anytime we can get Filthy Tom and Josh Alexander is always a good call, so we'll throw them out there. See who's here that can... Yeah, Coughlin Connor, sure. Sure, we've done this match once or twice before. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, makes sense. Yeah, we'll probably bump down a little bit, actually. Instead of having it be at 16, have it be at, like, 12. Because this is a pretty, you know, as far as... We don't have a single match that's going past... Or going under, you know, 20 minutes, which is pretty crazy. Probably a bad idea, but... They're gonna get their fucking money's worth, I know that much. Is then... Thinking maybe 6-man. That'd be kind of funny to throw Omega on the card, but nah, we won't. We won't do that. But we'll do Fujinami, Wado, and Taguchi. We'll do that against Mexa Blood. Oh, Mayor's twice. Never mind. There we go. Flamita over Master Wado. And we're good to go for this Wrestle Grand Slam in the Tokyo Dome show. We are ready. 70. Wow. As, what a 6-man. Really, everybody on the right. As, they did really... Everybody actually did really well besides Master Wado. As Flamita pinning Master Wado with the Fly Flame at die 53. It's a 55 for Filthy Tom and Josh Alexander against Coughlin Connors. Josh pinning Clark Connors with TKO. Here we go as well. Coughlin Connors. Almost in the 50s now. So 64 to kick off the show. Tomodachi pinning Hiroki Goto to the spinning Spinebuster. Shelley doing a really good job. Really, everybody else did about average. You know, Hanare and Kaji Tomato 56, 55. 53 for Yo, 51s for Yano and Sho, and then 47 for Alexander Amberstone, and then 42 for Hiroki Goto. So yeah, makes sense. Goto taking the fall. So 64 again as Power E with the big ending. A 22-40 over Satoshi Kojima. Probably gave that way too much time now I'm thinking about it. Should have bumped it down to at least 16, maybe even 14. The 75, though, for this 6-man of House of Torture That Empire is Takeda pinning the Great Okan. 2026 as Zach's with a 89, 78 for Jay White. 66 for Sujora, 65 for Takeda, 46 for Great Okan, and 42 for Ketsuya Kitamura. So yeah, Okan did better than Ketsuya Kitamura, so should I just give him the win instead, or have him take the loss instead? But this is a very, very good junior heavyweight tag team title matchup as Rey Fenix with an 89, incredible, gets the win after pinning Drew Parker with the package 5 driver foot stomp combination as Lucha Brothers make that defense number 1 of their junior heavyweight tag title reign. It's Phoenix, Pentagon Jr. obviously having excellent chemistry there. So 75 for Eddie Kingston and Miro, as after the interference and whatnot, they have great chemistry, worked out very, very well. Even though Miro was 16 points better than them, I love that we gave Kingston the belt. And it's the New Japan Strong Openweight title. And Eddie Kingston, Homicide, and Shota Umino have now joined in Task Force Death as far as having Drew Parker and Taiji Shimori. I wanted them to be like laid out flat, but probably should have picked somebody else. But I love it though. Absolutely love it. Probably should have just went the Lucha Brothers instead to make it all Task Force Death, but that's okay. The 77 for Tetsuya Naito and Bushi against Shotaro Ashino and Pac, as Pac with a whiplash neck strain, which that sucks. But a really good match though, even despite that. As got the crowd buzzing, you know, it was a strong performance. As Ashino with a 91, 86 for Tetsuya Naito, 71 for Pac, and a 70 for Bushi there. Whiplash next straight, and then an 80 for our co-main event as Shingo Takagi beats Joe Doring with the Pumping Bomber in 26-16. Great stuff there for Shingo. Our main event, fingers crossed. Oh! Damn it. As, in 30 minutes, 30-32, Roman Takahashi with the time bomb after the interference of Kenny Omega, the V-Trigger on Ibushi, the Golden Lovers, will collide at Wrestle Kingdom As that, you got the little post-show press conference, which that should have been after this, but that's okay. But that did really well, though. As the Bucks, Kenny Omega, kick Kota Ibushi out of the Golden Elite. The Elite. As Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi are set to square off right back here at the Tokyo Dome. How fun. Wow. I didn't think Shingo and Joe Dora would be the best thing on this card compared to, like, the main event. And also, the Lucha Brothers House of Torture was the best thing on this card. Just pretty funny. I think really we got fucked with that main event. Because you saw the performances, it just, lacked the drama and whatnot. But I'm still proud of it. I still thought it was a pretty good show. As we're going to give some love to Bushi there. We're going to give some love to Shingo. But what a great performance there in the co-main. And then Rey Fenix. I mean, he was the best guy in the best match. So I feel like that just kind of makes sense. Hell yeah. So I believe, we get at least a break before we start the next two tour shows. Before we go to our Wrestle Grand Slam show in National Stadium. Which part of me wants to not run at National Stadium anymore. We'll see. Would potentially not be at Wrestle Grand Slam. So that's kind of the weird thing about not knowing how many people are going to be there. And it's hard to, advertise stuff like that when I'm not exactly sure if there's going to be enough people for it to work. Because I don't think it's going to be enough people. So I'm a bit siding on the side of caution there. As, we'll just take this loading screen out. Well, now we're already here, so we might as well look and see. As though it is tonight, so I'm glad we didn't stop it. So we renegotiated with Filthy Tom Lawler. I'm just gonna give $100,000. Try 10 and fair. Okay, perfect. Way to go, Miro. Way to be a savage about it. So we're up $2 million already, so that's a great sign. Perfect. So I did end up choosing Hook to go to AEW for 3 years. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with Bronson Steiner. As of right now, we do have so many goddamn people. So I think we should definitely get rid of... Or at least get rid of JR Kratos. At least get rid of him. And then... probably by the end of 2021, get rid of also the Gods of War as well. But it was a fun run they had. We used them to help elevate some guys, I think. But now we're definitely going to help try to elevate as much as we can now going in for the next month or so. But for this, the show here, the New Japan, the Road to Wrestle Grand Slam, the Day 3 show here. So obviously, we haven't got a chance to really talk about this Love Collection AT, passing on Psychology to Yazutaka Yano. We haven't got really a chance to talk about what the title matches are for this Wrestle Grand Slam show. So, the big thing is we have graphics for them, but I gotta load them up here, so we'll just kind of wait with anticipation for them. But the main event, which we kind of talked about already, Brody Lee, Kenta, for the heavyweight title. And Brody become a never openweight and a heavyweight champion going into Wrestle Kingdom, or well, the man who has really had a strong back half of 2021 kid to keep that reign going. Shingo warned him. He's like, no matter who it is, if it's going to be Brody Lee, if it's going to be Kenta, I'm taking that belt at Wrestle Kingdom. But the co-main event, it is an IWGP Intercontinental title matchup. It's former stablemates, former Young Lion classmates, battle up as Evil and Hiromu Takahashi. Evil repping the new look, as far as felt like it was time to use what he's been kind of rocking with now in current day, even though we were kind of using like him with the purple and black to fit the Dark Order scheme. But I do like, I kind of like this as far as like an aesthetic piece with Evil. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's gonna work as far as that goes. So Hiromu having quite the back-to-back, Wrestle Grand Slam shows as far as taking on Kota Ibushi. Then his final stop before Wrestle Kingdom is Evil. As for the matches, I think that's the only... Oh, no, there's one more. There's the, now because Bushi has beaten Pac, the junior heavyweight title matchup is actually... That was the junior tag title matchup, but I don't think it's going to be Jonathan Gresham and Makabe. I think we're going to go with Gresham and Moriarty to change it up a little bit. So there it is. There's Bushi and Pac. It's Bushi and Pac for the junior heavyweight title. As far as the rest of the card, we'll kind of go through here in a bit. I just got to copy it over real quick. It will be ready to go. And there's a lot of things that are kind of going on here, so it's kind of tough to... We'll go through it after after we run this show, because there's a lot of things to go through and nitpick through real quick. But the main thing I want to build towards is Hiromu and Evil and Brody and Kenta. So that should, that's pretty easy. Dark Order guys, and then LIJ, and also as well as far as Task Force Death. So that could probably be very simple to do. Main event, Brody with the Disciples of Darkness. I think they're ready to go. Yeah, Calvin's back, so Disciples of Darkness. Then Kenta with Kingston and Homicide now. As far as it did, as we gotta change this around too. We gotta put them in Task Force Death. But we're gonna have Tankman beat Kingston. Actually, we'll have Kingston beat Hobbs. To at least have them be pretty strong, as far as their first teaming up, so we could get rid of Death Riders now. And we got a whole new row now, as far as guys. Kingston, Homicide, and Shota Umino. Perfect. Plus, you get a former Young Lion in there, too, so it kind of adds to the depth of things. So there is an LIJ Chaos Tag match. It's Okada and Ishii against Naito and Sonata, which is actually going to be the co-main instead of Evil and Hiromu, which is pretty big. But, yeah, I think as far as what we can do with that, yeah, I think... as far as let's do Bushi with Sonata, and then Pac. Then for the other Task Force Death, think of Ashino. Yeah, Pac being injured does suck, but hopefully he's able to not get any seriously hurt. Furthermore, hurt. But we're gonna have Ashino beat Bushi there. I was thinking maybe Pac beat him. Maybe get that win back. I think we're gonna go with that. But it's a pretty good 1-2. As far as the rest of the card, we are debuting the House of Enochiism, which is basically all the LA Dojo guys, but with Shibata. So that's kind of, plus, like Narita and Fujinami, and kind of like, basically, who's ever... It's a subgroup of Lion Mark, is what that is, basically. So it's not going to have, like, a logo or anything. So maybe have them do something, as far as Shibata, Coughlin Connors, and Carl Fredericks. Oh, yeah, they gotta face someone. Doi. Yeah, we'll go with Team Filthy. Alexander, Garcia, and Garini. Yes, so, we'll have Shibata beat Dominic Garini. That'd be a very fun match if they were able to do it. IRL, Garini and Shibata. That would be pretty sick, as Shibata's the road agent. We'll have that be Liger. Alright. So, I mean, it's not a terrible match by any means, but I think it could definitely use a little bit of jolt. But yeah, there is going to be a number weight 6-man title match on that show. Power Isho, Benjamin, and King Mo against Tamura and Tenkoji too, so we don't have to do that on this show, luckily. But I would like maybe let's do a 6-man Lucha Brothers with Ashino, or not with Ashino, with Umino against Makabe, Lee Moriarty, Jonathan Gresham. 16, Gresham. Or we're going to even have Moriarty. Yeah, let's have Lee Moriarty beat Pentagon Jr. We're trying to make a guy. Trying to make a guy. To see how Moriarty's pop is. About the same. No, never mind. It's not the same. Gresham's is about the same. Well, we'll just have Jonathan Gresham beat him. We don't need to be beating... Yeah, we don't need to be making a guy on a tour show. That's fine. That's much better. Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're going to bump that up too. Then the bottom 2 matches on the card. Maybe Tenkoji. Yeah, maybe Tenkoji, then Shelton Benjamin, King Mo. Yeah, this could be the opener, actually. So, Benjamin get the win. He can beat Tenzan. And we need a Steal the Show matchup. As far as that goes, that's a good question. So I'm thinking Ishii and... Yeah, probably Ishii and Arata. Stuff, because really LIJ doesn't have like that type of guy where that could work and it makes sense. We could maybe debut Bronson Steiner. See how he does. Or even like Oiwa. Yeah, let's go Oiwa. And it's tough because there's really... We could also go with Suzuki too, I guess. Didn't think about that. Suzuki and Davey Boy Smith Jr. Ishii over Suzuki. Alright. Oh. Suzuki is fucking pissed. To be honest, I don't really care. I think it's fine the way it is. I mean, I guess we can keep it strong and see if he takes it. Okay. Yeah, you could just lose clean then. Whoa, we got a lot of shit. Red shoes. Being used too much. Just take a look here, see what the main is. That's red shoes. I would change that, but I want him in the main event. Yeah, so we'll just have that be Daichi Murahama. Perfect. It's a pretty good show, I think, for what we're kind of putting together. So the Foundation against Tengoji as the Foundation get the win. Shelton with the pay dirt over Tenzan, rather, about Kojima. Yeah, right team wins there. So I forgot we were in Korakuen. Forgot to change it. Summer Ishii pinning Minoru Suzuki with a vertical drop brainbuster in 14-14. It's Ishii getting the win in 14-14 as with the vertical drop brainbuster. Ishii was the best guy in the match. Suzuki and Davey Boy Smith Jr. did outperform Harada, so I could see where the upsetness would stem from that, but fuck it. As the 8-man of Team Filthy against the House of Enochiism, as Shibata tapping out Dominic Green with the ankle lock in 16-10. It's pretty good. Shibata 64. Josh, I think this was if I remember correctly, this was a technical masterclass match that I completely... Oh, no, it was a regular match. So at least Shibata's doing pretty well now. He's finally getting good, it seems like. Even though now he's declining physically. So that sucks, but... yeah, I mean, he was the best guy in the match, then Josh Alexander, and everybody else did pretty much a mixed bag. 71 for this sixth man. Shota Umino getting fucking carried in this one as Jonathan Gresham pinning Pentagon Jr. at the 6:30, 15:59. So yeah, Phoenix, best guy in the match. Makabe was pretty close, though. I mean, wouldn't say pretty close, 10 points behind. Now I'm thinking about it as 63 for Pentagon Jr., 60 for Jonathan Gresham, and then 50 for Lee Moriarty, 27 for Shota Umino. 79 for this co-main here as Pac and Ashino beat Bushi and Sonata. Sonata was the best guy in the match. Sonata and Bushi, excellent chemistry. Way to go. Hell yeah. That's cool. It was 73 for our main event as Kingston pins Will Hobbs with Blackout Lariat. Yeah, Kingston 56. Hobbs did outperform him. So that sucks. Yeah, I mean, that was still a really good match. I probably should have went with my gut and had Dark Order win. But I'm happy at least Task Force Death are trying to look still even threatening with the new addition of the Strong Style Riders and Shota Umino. It's pretty good stuff. And, I mean, this was a lot better than I gave it credit for. As far as the 79, that's really, really good. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This tour is very, very close together. I could see why Pac got hurt. But hopefully nobody else gets hurt, as we just got one more tour show, and then we got the final show. We'll actually run through the card now that we got that out of the way. Alright, so this Wrestle Grand Slam in the blank, as I'm just going to call it, because I'm not sure if it's going to be at the National Stadium or not. Main event, we talked about Brody Lee Kenta, we talked about the co-main, Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, against Tetsuya Naito and Sonata. That should be a really good match. An Evil and Hiromu in a Continental title matchup, Junior title matchup, Bushi versus Pac, Junior tag title matchup, Jonathan Gresham, Lee Moriarty, looking to take on the Lucha Brothers. Wanted to go with that team instead of Makabe and Gresham, even though that's the better team. Wanted to at least have a fresh matchup there. And then they never avoid six-man tag team title matchup. Not a rematch, technically, because it's not going to be Fred Yehi. It's going to be King Mo involved, which that should be pretty fun. I forgot to figure out who I wanted to have against the Cyber's of Darkness, John Silver and Alex Reynolds. So that's kind of funny. I just kind of left it blank for the time being. Because I remember I was like, man, we got to do something with them because we have Brody and we have Evil on the match. I just felt like that was going to be for the best. So maybe a heavyweight junior tandem there. Still figuring out exactly who that's going to be. I feel bad that I showed that off without saying who's going to be in that match, but still thinking about it. As I just figured, hey, get this show out of the way, and then once I think about it, we'll add it to the show. But this is going to be a six-man House of Enochiism versus Task Force Death. But the Task Force Death team, so it's going to be the Task Force Death Riders, Eddie Kingston, Homicide, and Shota Umino. House of Enochiism team is going to be Carl Fredericks, Rin Narita, I want to say. Might even be Yu Uemura. I put them both in there because I felt like that'd be pretty fun. And I want to say Carl Fredericks. I want to say it's Shibata, Narita, Carl Fredericks. I want to say, off the top of my head. Might have messed up, though, but that's okay. As we'll get this show on the way here. And they got us a Corkin. Well, obviously we'll be wanting to change that. It's Flamita. Buffalo Wrestler Court. It was accused of moaning about stuff all the time, bumming him enough out being just a Debbie Downer. So the judge Hiroshi Tanahashi found him guilty and said, shut up or cheer up, and then to buy drinks for everyone after the show. Nice. So, oh yeah, we could kind of run. I was thinking maybe the Sapporo Dome for that. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. 40,000 strong. That's not a bad place. Because that's not bad. Because I mean, there's a couple of places here that could definitely, like, we could run the show at. Like the Toyota Stadium and whatnot. A lot of different options, though. We'll go, I do want to run here, though, because we haven't really ran here in a while. We'll go with the community center, just in case there's a little bit more people. But for this show, I think really the big thing that I would probably like to see get built is maybe something with LIJ and Chaos. Which should be interesting, because there's really nothing else. I guess we could do Shibata. Or not Shibata, we could do Shingo. To make that the 6th man. And throw either Goto or Yano in there. I guess Yano. That'd probably be better. Oh, that got all fuckered up. Yeah. So it's funny, we just released Jao Kratos, and I just saw he just signed with Noah, which is just very funny. Noah's just poaching people. He's, like, they could have signed him. Like, we just had a handshake deal with him, but of course, right when we get rid of him, they snap in and take him. Just very funny. Because they did that with Fale, too. Like, Fale's been in main events with Noah, and Noah's a shit show right now, what they've been booking. It saddens me dearly as Sonata. Shingo. That's a pretty good main event, though, as far as Shingo could beat Yano there. Building up more, the challenger. Wrestle Kingdom. Pretty solid match, though, if I do say so myself. I think it's a really good main event. For a co-main, that's a good question. Because I was thinking, it's tough because you can't really do anything with Evil and Aroma. Can't do anything with Bushi and Pac either. So it's really down to Brody and Kenta again. Which we just did something with that. So, I guess we'll do something again, or maybe not. Maybe that will be the main we just did and kind of work with guys that are not on the card. Yeah, we can go with, like, Goto. I did put Bronson Steiner in a match on Strong, and he got a 5. So, I think we're going to change his stats to just, either change him to, March, or whatever the modern, the most up-to-date one I have, take those stats and put them to this edit, which might be a bit unfair, but it is what it is, because, he ain't that bad. It definitely isn't bad at all, and I know it's kind of a weird thing to do, because, he never got signed, so, his stats are just kind of is what it is, but his star quality's still great, and his menace was great and all that. I think it should be fine, hopefully, there. But with Goto, I think I'm going to go with Francesco and Eagles. Then, as far as who they're going to face, now that's a better question. Maybe something as far as, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I know what I want this co-main to be. I want it to be Ibushi with somebody against the Bucks and then somebody. I think that'd be a lot of fun. As far as that goes. Maybe House of Torture? Maybe Miro with the juniors? Let's go with Drew Parker and Ishimori. That's not a bad match. Not a bad co-main. Or not a bad underneath of the co-main match. We'll have Ishimori beat Eagles. Not a great day for Chaos, but that's okay. They'll bounce back, I think. But yeah, we'll keep it at the 6 man. As for the Bucks, that'd be funny if we put him with Bronson, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Kind of want to have Taguchi, as far as in the Master Wado. See who they could team with, and it makes sense. So thinking like a Gaijin person, but I just kind of blanking. Yeah, because, there's really not a whole lot of options. We can go with Paul London, I guess. There's another guy that we gotta get rid of. Use all that pop that he has and send him on his merry way. This match is certainly something. It's not something I'm the most proud of. But I think it'll work, as Ibushi's going to get the win. He could beat Paul London, and it'd be fine. It makes no goddamn sense, though. I really prefer this as the co-main. I know that's weird. But I'm going to stick with that. Now to kind of throw either the undercard people or people that are not on the card. So I'll go with Shibata and Narita. Then against Kingston and Homicide. I was like, I don't have Homicide beat Narita. I feel like that's for the best. As for the next matchup, I was thinking Tai Chi and Suzuki against some Young Lions. Let's go with, we could even go with Victor and Connor Kratos, I guess. That's not a terrible idea, to be honest. Just to kind of get this match on the card. I think we have to do a steal the show match, so I guess it's going to be this, and Suzuki's going to get the win. In our technical masterclass, which will be, you guessed it, a tag match. Let's go with Josh and Garcia against the team Oiwa and Fujita. So we'll have Garcia get a win. He could use one, so feel like him beating a Young Lion's not too bad. There we go. Alright, the show. 31. Yeah, not great. Obviously, the Filthy Tom, or the Team Filthy team, rather, it is pretty good. It's just not as far as, not enough overness there to really make this thing flow. But Garcia gets the win, though, at 15:49. 57 for the Suzuki Tai Chi match against the Gods of War. It's Victor Craze. That's the thing. Victor Craze isn't really that bad. And neither is Connor. It's just, they're kind of in just like a spot where they're just going to elevate teams. And that's great. You know, that's not a bad spot to be in. But we've had them for about a year. And, Strong has really taken off, I think, to the point where we can really use like almost everybody on the roster now. So I think it's just kind of they've used their welcome. But this is still a pretty good match, though. So 64 for the Strong Style Riders against the Katsura Shibata Run Narita team. As Homicide gets the win with the cutter in 12:49. So Shibata again did really, really well. Kingston does pretty well. Homicide was a little off his game style performance against Narita there. 73 for Ibushi in 108 against Paul London and the Young Bucks, as Paul London was the worst guy in the match. He even did worse than Master Wato. Way to go, Kota Ibushi, though, as he gets to win the Phoenix Plex in 16:04. And, this gets a 70. Chaos versus House of Torture, as Ishii went with the Bloody Cross over Robbie Eagles, 2023. So Goto and Eagles did the same, and then Francesco was the worst guy in the match. Actually, no, that was Drew Parker was almost the worst guy in the match, but Ishimori and Miro doing a really good job there. Color commentary gave that a boost. And 76 as Naito sprains his wrist. You hate to see that, but hopefully he'll still be able to perform in the co-main event rather of our show, which I think it is tomorrow. So that sucks that we've had 2 injuries now back to back. As far as that does suck. But hopefully, as far as throughout this tour, having a short tour, but it's pretty close together, having 2 injuries sucks. But Shingo gets the win with the Made in Japan over Toriano. I'd love to see him pick up Toriano for that. But the LIJ team did pretty fantastic, and Okada, of course, carrying this one for his team. For the good stuff, though. Except for Yano spraying his wrist. 73 again. There we go. As now on to our show, our Wrestle Grand Slam potentially not in the National Stadium. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. As hopefully everything goes well in the show, though. Alright, so they put us in the Tokyo Dome. Which is, oh my god, we about just had this run at Cablevision. That could have been bad. That could have been real bad. So let's see what the backstage announcements are. It's Kojima passing on Selling to Eiji Tamura, and then Milano Collection AT passing on Psychology to Yasutaka Yano. Okay, so before I just kind of think, so yeah, 40,000, definitely a good idea we don't run there. Sapporo, perfect. 49,000, or 40, yeah, about around 47, probably, since the figure it's going to be used. I like it. So we'll, so I'm probably going to misspell Sapporo because I'm an idiot, but it should be that, right? Let's, just, I think it's with an A. Yep. 2 P's, O-R-O. Yep, okay. Perfect. So that's fun. For the main event, of course, there's a couple of post-show things. As, Brody Lee, Kenta. Oh my. As Kenta will be beating Brody Lee. 32 minutes. Red Shoes fucking referee. Chiable and gotta be the road agent, but I love this matchup. Of course, they did they wrestled on Dynamite, which is crazy. They teamed up. That was way back at the beginning of the mod. Or near the beginning, rather. As, is 83, the time limit draw. Hopefully it goes a little better this time around. But so far, Kenta's reign has been pretty interesting. As far as getting outperformed on. As I actually almost forgot, thinking about that. So, I'm glad I thought about this when we were talking about getting outperformed. So, Power Struggle. It actually had to get run again because right after the show, I accidentally sent Kento Koben to the wrong excursion place, and you can't, fix that after you do. I didn't want to be wasted in Rev Pro, so I basically was like, oh shit, let me back out. When I backed out, it, had to rerun this show again. So this is now the new rating for Power Struggle. Completely forgot about that. Glad I remembered. So, unfortunately, the 99's gone, and Kazuchika Okada's actually Virginia, but still did a 92. The main did a little bit better. Kind of like everything did better, but just it wasn't as good of a match. So that sucks, but at least everything went well there. But, yeah, I'm glad I remembered to talk about that. As Tetsuya Naito in Sonata against Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii, as Naito is going to be beating Tomohiro Ishii. Afterwards, he's going to challenge Kazuchika Okada to a Wrestle Kingdom U.S. title matchup, and Okada accepts. So we are going to have Tetsuya Naito and Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, but for a U.S. title. And it's now going to be, I think that's going to be a lot of fun to see another wrinkle in that story. I think they've had a lot of matches, maybe not a lot of matches, but they've had a good bit of matches in this save already. So to have another one here at Wrestle Kingdom for the U.S. title, though, so far Naito, after losing both belts, he's done okay for himself, but he hasn't had that big-time moment, and I think he's winning it here, against Kazuchika Okada to beat Okada and get that U.S. title off of him. As, trying to think, oh yeah, we could also do this, the post-show stare-down between Shingo and Kenta, our Wrestle Kingdom main event for the belt. I'm very excited to see how that one plays out. There. So now we can go with the rest of the card here. So Evil, Hiromu, Intercontinental title. Hiromu. Wow, we had Evil. So Hiromu is going to win. I don't know why I had Evil winning that one. That's pretty crazy, though. Yeah, because... Yeah, I mean, Evil... he got the win after Dominion, after he lost to Hiromu. Just makes sense, to have Hiromu get the win there. Not a great night for Dark Order, but them being in Florida, as far as big-time matches, though, at least they have that going for them. Can Bushi upset Pac? No, he can't. Pac's going to get the win there. Sucks that match is going to be a little bit worse now because of the injury, but afterwards, Pac is going to get a video promo from Jason Lee, our newest signing. He's not here yet. but we're just gonna have to, because we should be able to. Because I mean, his contract technically doesn't start until next week, I think. But he'll be here. Jason Lee, big signing, stealing him away from Dragon Gate. I think it was Dragon Gate either didn't want him. I think that's what it was. Well, he might have just outright stolen him, but I do love Jason Lee. I think he's got a lot of potential and someone that is so different and unique. I think he adds a lot to the, and it's something new. Pac's talking about how he's not gotten any, who's his challenger? Who's it going to be? Is it, the plan for him is to have a year with that belt and go on to bigger and better things, and he's eyeing that New Japan Cup. And, but at first, he wants to have this junior heavyweight title for a year. Kind of talks about that for a bit, but that should be pretty fun. As as far as we gotta change the order of that. A lot of angles this show, this tour, and then really the big thing is hyping up to Wrestle Kingdom. Then Gresham and Moriarty against the Lucha Brothers. Pentagon Jr. is going to get the win for the Lucha Brothers, so their Wrestle Kingdom matchup is going to be, because they already won the Super Junior Tag League, it's going to be the team that made it to the finals. And even though, because it's weird, because they had beaten them, but they lost in the finals to them, Alex Shelley and Kaiju Tamano. So that match is taking place at Wrestle Kingdom. So we're adding another Wrestle Kingdom match to the fray. But we're going to have Katsuri Shibata, Carl Fredericks, Ren Narita against Task Force Death. Shibata beating Shota Umino there. So we'll bump that down to 16. But afterwards, the tag champs are going to hit the ring. And out comes Hiroshi Tanahashi, who makes the save. Him and Liani Fujinami. And also Raisuke Taguchi. Maybe not Taguchi. Maybe just Fujinami. Yeah, that works. But Tanahashi then grabs on the mic and says that him and Shibata are going to be the ones to enter the tag league, and they're going to go on to win the whole damn thing, basically, and saying that we missed out on our title shot. We're going to get it this time. We're going to earn it, too, by winning the tag league. So that's going to be cool. And the Foundation, he had a Tamura Tenkoji match, which Kojima's going to be King Mo there. So we got to bump that up. Change this around, and then we got to add the 8-man. So we can give a Dark Order team at least a win here. So let's see what we have. Because I was thinking Team Filthy. Tom, Alexander, and then Garcia and Guarini. Just kind of close to what I was thinking. It's kind of there. As for Cypress of Darkness, Realms of Silver. We've done this before? Nope. As I would give it 16, I guess. Hobbs over Guarini. Poor Dominic Guarini. So we gotta see what needs fixing here. I don't really know. Now I'm looking at as far as oh, that's right. It's that nothing needs fixed. It's just this is you can't remove it. This game is weird. As for the pre-show matches, I think it's 6-man. As far as Ryu Lee, and Mexa Blood again. Let's see here. Top Flight in someone maybe? Yeah, Top Flight in Paul London. Give it 12, and Flamia beating Paul London. Okay, and then the next one. Man, oh man. It is... It's tough. There's a lot of great junior teams left. I was thinking like a heavyweight team, thinking United Rage against someone. Yeah, United Rage Gods of War. We kind of done that a lot, though. Yeah, we could go House of Torture, I guess. Oh, we haven't done that before. That works. As we'll have Brody. I don't know if Brody's gonna outperform him. We'll have Miro get the win. He could beat Kitamura. Poor United Empire. They got Zack, and that's about it. Zack's not even on this card. It's not good. Not good, not good. Just want to make sure everything's... See, Nagata's used too much. So that'd be Liger. See if that will fix it. It did. Perfect. Alright. So 62 for Flamita over Paul London. Max of Bloods versus Top Flight and Paul London. So 62 is, yeah, Riley and Flamita did really well. Just Ray Horace a little bit behind. Dante Martin outperformed him, so that's cool for Dante. 57. It's too short. Wow. As, yeah, Brody did get outperformed everybody in the match. So this guy, there's Katsuya Kitamura bouncing back. But Miro, you know, was the right guy to get the win there. As the opener, the House of Inokiism and Task Force Death matchup. House of Inokiism gets the win. A Shibata with the cross armbar over Shota Umino. Yeah, I mean, it's basically down to Shibata and Kingston there. A little too short. God damn it. So 72, though, for the angle. That's all that matters. You just need the people that matter to be involved in the angle. So 61 for this 8-man as Will Hobbs beating Guarini with the Order of Business. Which is perfect. You know, just love that. As, yeah, Will Hobbs, 61, 63 for Tankman, 57 for John Silver. Just the Dark Order team's tremendous. Even Alex Reynolds outperformed Garcia and Guarini. But just, yeah, Josh Alexander and Filthy Tom almost outperformed Filthy Tom Lawler, too. Ooh, 53 is King Mo with a rib contusion. That's their first defense in the quote-unquote rematch. It's Kojima pinning King Mo with a lariat. So, yeah, Tamura, best guy in the match, besides Shelton Benjamin, thanks to Shelton, or thanks to Power E being off of his game, my God. But yeah, the Tamura, Kojima saga continues as the NBA and JMs. Even, we'll throw Tenzan in there, too, to be nice, but obviously it's the Tamura train all the way. As King Mo, who it was Tenzan who's caused that, so that was great. Way to go, Tenzan. 81, though. Again, these junior tag matches have been incredible. It's Pentagon Jr. with the package pod driver foot sound combination. Pinning Lee Moriarty. Really good stuff there. It's pretty close. It's just Phoenix is so much better. It's so awesome. It's crazy. So 68, one of the worst Pac junior title matches you'll see. As this one I knew was going to be too short. I was like, man. But with the injury, I felt like it was a great compensation for that. But I probably should have just went with it. Got the crowd buzzing, though, at least. It's the Pac promo from the video promo. Jason Lee is the challenger. Be taking on Pac at Wrestle Kingdom. It's an 84. The Intercontinental title matchup is Hiromu beats Evil. Way to go, Hiromu. Way to bounce back. After the not-so-great match with Kota Ibushi, thanks to the psychology differences there. Got the crowd hotter, too. Oh, forgot to change this angle around. That's okay. As it was a 91, though. Way to go, fucking Kazuchika Okada on that one. Wow, what a tag match. As Naito pinning Ishii there with the Destino in 27-28. Very good stuff there. Good stuff there. So main events in 80, of course, it gets outperformed by a Kazuchika Okada match. As Kenta makes his fourth defense, and he gets the win with a go-to-sleep over Brody Lee. It's crazy, the psychology. Just has been really a big factor in a lot of his matches, which I'm assuming that's just everybody. It's just penalty. But I mean, that was a fun match, a fun show. Post-show angle at least does really well with Shingo and Kenta as well. So I love that. I love that the angles are doing pretty well. At least it was a good enough show to where it was an 80. So you do love that. And it's crazy that both a non-title tag match and an Intercontinental title match was better than the heavyweight title match. But what can you do? Kenta's performing well, but same thing with Hiromu. Like, you know, they're both performing well. The champs are, but it's just hasn't gone their way as far as challengers goes. But we're gonna give some love to Kenta. You give some love to Okada, and trying to think who else. Maybe yeah, I guess probably Hiromu's probably the way to go there. Hell yeah. But that is the episode. Thank you all for watching for the Wrestle Grand Slam shows. As I think we're going to keep that in Sapporo. That was a lot of fun. As thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time for the Tag League. Take care, everyone.